Hello YouTube and hello world, welcome to my channel. Tonight we're going to talk about some tips, strategies, and ideas in IELTS listening. Before we proceed, I'd like to thank our frontliners for their efforts in saving lives against COVID-19. So to our dear frontliners, thank you ever so much. Also, I'd like to greet my family, friends in TCG, Dickies, and Kuligligs, as well as my colleagues, and I hope you're doing well tonight. Also, shout out to Susan's Kitchen. Ate Susan, thank you very much for your sponsored McDonald's the other day. Then, shout out to Irene Fandilan and her husband for baking our chocolate cake, and we're looking forward to that. So guys, let's crack on. Tip number 1, practice your listening skills. This will help you understand the speaker or the speakers really well, follow the conversation, monologue, dialogue, or lecture smoothly, and give the best answers to the listening questions in your exam. I suggest listening to various listening materials such as documentaries, TV shows, and radio programs such as BBC. Also, it's best to practice some IELTS listening tests because you'll be able to multitask. For instance, you'll be able to listen to the audio as you write down your answers on your answer sheet. Now let's go to tip number 2. Polish your vocabulary. Improving your vocabulary not only helps you with IELTS reading, but it will also help you massively in IELTS listening. For instance, the audio might use synonyms such as middling or reasonable, while the questionnaire says the word average. Also, be sure to pay attention to the setting of the conversation in your listening test. For example, in the library or in the lecture hall, because knowing the setting of the conversation will help you think of word or words that the speakers would use. You might hear the sentence, "He likes going to the gym or playing football" in the audio, and then encounter the statement, "He's active" on the questionnaire. Tip number 3, skim the questions. So this tip doesn't only apply in IELTS reading, it also applies in IELTS listening. Before the recording, be sure to look through the questions in your IELTS examination, as doing this will be able to help you do the following. Number 1, understand the context of the conversation. Number 2, identify what is being asked in the question. Number 3, familiarize yourself on how many words you have to use in writing your answers. For instance, not more than a word or not more than 2 words or 3 words. And number 4, to anticipate what kind or what form of the word you are going to use, like noun form, adjective, verb, or adverb form. Tip number 4, listen to the recording introduction. Keep an eye on intros such as "you will hear a dialogue between" or "you will hear a lecture on." This will give you an idea on who the speakers are, where they are, and what they're going to talk about. Also, this will help you anticipate for answers to the listening questions. Tip number 5, pay attention. You should be all ears to the audio, as you will only hear it once, not twice, once. If you miss something, leave it blank for a while and then continue listening to the audio. And then during the last 10 minutes, go back to that item, review, and make a guess, make an educated guess, or just use your instinct, as long as you won't leave that test item blank. Okay? So you'll have the chance to having 1 point. Tip number 6, avoid distractions. You'll usually encounter distractions in the dialogue part of the listening subtest. A distractor is identified as something said by speaker number 1 or one person and then is repeated or corrected by speaker number 2 or the other person. A common mistake in the IELTS listening test is that some candidates write the answers too quickly as soon as they hear the information, not realizing that that information might still be repeated and corrected by another speaker in that particular conversation. Top tier tip, listen to the audio very carefully. Pay attention to that information given by speaker number 1 if it's gonna be repeated or corrected by speaker number 2. Let's check sample dialogue number 1. It's a conversation between John and the librarian, and the question asks for John's day of birth, which is 5th of blank. The day has already been given, so we're just looking for the month. I'll read to you the dialogue. Just one more thing, your day of birth. I can get that from the card, just give me one moment. Sorry, I'm afraid you didn't copy it down correctly. This says I was born on 5th of August 1990. What have I written? Oh yes, I see now. I've got the 5th of the 7th on the card, and that would make it July. So in this example, John said he had been born on the 5th of August, while the librarian corrected himself and said July. By understanding this conversation, you should be able to write July, which is the corrected information. Hence, the answer is July. Tip number 7, watch out for keywords. Words like but, then, finally, and however help you keep track of the conversation and anticipate the answer to the questions, while words like first, second, last, and to sum up help you identify the part of the conversation or part of the question you have reached. Tip number 8, writing dates. Just bear in mind that writing August 24, 24 August, and 24th of August are all correct. Tip number 9, practice short writing. Just like the other 3 subtests in your IELTS exam, the listening subtest also involves time pressure. So in addition to multitasking, meaning listening to the audio and writing your answers, try practicing writing your temporary answers in their short forms. For example, you may write approx instead of approximately, Aug for August, and Jan for January. But then, be sure to write the complete form of that answer when you transfer your temporary answers from the questionnaire onto the answer sheet. Tip number 10, don't leave test items blank. Sometimes, people miss word or words in the listening section. Even if you don't know the answer to that test question, never leave it blank. Instead, make an educated guess or follow your instinct, just like what I've told you earlier, and it might be the correct answer. Not, but not the least, tip number 11, review your answers. You've got 30 minutes at the end of each section, and then 10 minutes at the end of the IELTS listening test to review your answers and to transfer them onto the answer sheet. So be sure to check the following: spelling, pluralization, capitalization, and word form. Remember that incorrectly written answers will not be counted. Also, be sure to transfer your answer from the questionnaire onto the right space in the answer sheet. Okay? So guys, that ends our video for today about IELTS listening. Thank you ever so much for watching this video. If you like the content of this video, don't forget to click the like button, and please subscribe to my channel and hit the bell icon for my future videos as well. And to my subscribers, thank you very much for subscribing to my channel. I'll do whatever it takes on a positive note to create more educational videos for you. So for now, I'll see you later. Bye!